I have not been able to talk about the current stuff in One Piece as much as I should be, so hopefully this video makes me redeem myself for those who've been waiting for me to talk about spoiler related stuff. So yeah.
Here we go again.
Is that boy Dragon a fucking fraud? In short, absolutely. This video will not only be talking about Dragon scaling or his reputation within the community, this is also just basically me voicing my opinion on how strong I think Dragon is, or if I think he's even strong. If you're within the community, you guys are well aware of what an agenda is and what it usually entails to. It's basically someone pushing the fact that their favorite character is a GOAT and a lot stronger than people say they are.
You can't defeat me.
No, I know. But he can.
This leads into us what I call the top 1 agenda, where it's basically a One Piece fan claiming their GOAT is top 1 because of such and such. The most common characters you will see 9 times out of 10 associated in this top 1 agenda thing I'm talking about are Akainu, Blackbeard, Kaido, and the man himself, Dragon. There's also other people like Rocks, Whitebeard, but they are not nearly as important as the main bunch I was talking about. And you know what's funny about this list of characters? Everyone has an argument for being top 1. And I believe they are all at least far more reasonable and credible than the reasons as to why Dragon is top 1. Let's just look at it for a second. For Mihawk, it's because he's not only the strongest swordsman, but it's stated he stands at the top of the New World in both name and reality. He's also looking for a rival stronger than Shanks, who is already regarded as one of the most powerful characters within the series. People think he's top 1 already, so that should already put into perspective how strong Mihawk actually is. We have Akainu, who is pretty much considered the strongest marine we've seen, somehow surviving blows from bloodlusted Whitebeard and clashing with Aokiji for 10 days, meaning he probably got much stronger. This is due to Haki Bloom, and as we all know, when 2 strong Hakis clash for a long time, the opponents can bloom their Haki during the heat of battle. Regardless of if you think the Haki Bloom is a quantifiable increase or not, it doesn't really matter. Point is, Garp and Aokiji are pretty relative, and Akainu is implied to be above that level. So he's more than likely the strongest current marine. Akainu as well just has a statement of having one of the most powerful devil fruits, with people just saying that it's just outright the strongest. And Akainu as well is probably the only One Piece character I've seen had fans make fake scans of him so that the Admiral agenda can stay strong, but even without this, I feel like Akainu should be considered pretty powerful. Kaido, similar to Mihawk, is called outright the strongest, though most of these statements come from rumors and no real credible sources, or it's more than likely referring to the stuff that's happening during Wano. So for example, Kaido never losing a one-on-one doesn't mean he's canonically beat every One Piece character. I don't know why we think this. There are also statements from other characters that consider him the strongest pirate, though it's probably in reference to the opponents they themselves have faced. Regardless though, Kaido still has probably the best showcase of endurance out of any One Piece character, and even despite getting weakened during the entire arc, he still does pretty well against Gear 5, who pretty much has what I consider to be the top 5 strongest devil fruits, and more than likely can beat Luffy in a regular one-on-one confrontation. Then we have Blackbeard, who, although I believe is a little overrated, shameless plug for my Blackbeard video with Restless Gambler, I feel like the concept of him being top 1 out of any character we've talked about makes the most sense, since he's not only using the strongest Paramecia, but also has a Logia that can negate any other devil fruit in the series, which sounds pretty ridiculous, and once Blackbeard does some crazy stuff, I will not be surprised. But do you guys see though how everyone here at least has a case for them being top 1, and it makes sense as to why a person would come to that conclusion? Notice how I didn't say a single thing about Dragon. The reason for this is because he actually has never fought someone since like episode 50, and it's not even like in Mihawk's case where he's fighting goats in the past. No, we have no knowledge of who he's fought before, and the only thing that's going for him is he's apparently the most dangerous criminal in the world. Now, that does sound crazy, right? We have characters like the Yonko and the Straw Hats running around, and yet he's the most dangerous? That's gotta mean something, Ty learned. He's gotta be powerful. Yeah, no, get that idea out of your head right now. Being a dangerous criminal, in my opinion, doesn't make you inherently strong. Nico Robin is legit one of the most wanted people in the One Piece verse, and she get curb stopped by Chopper, so let's not kid ourselves. Doflamingo is definitely a bigger criminal than Luffy himself, but Luffy in base by the end of Wano would take his lunch money. There's also other characters like Buggy, Crocodile, like, you get my point. Being a criminal doesn't really mean anything. After debunking this argument, a Dragon fan 9 times out of 10 is gonna pull out the all-reliable and say, well, narratively, he's gonna have to be strong in the endgame. And this is where I'm just gonna stop everyone while we are ahead and say, please stop saying, narratively. You do not write this shit. You do not know what Oda is going to write next. Please stop that. Why are you talking about narrative implications on a character that's legit done nothing the entire series? And yet these are the same group of people that claim Kaido or Mihawk lack any proof of them being one of the strongest characters in the series. Like, if you want to say Mihawk isn't the strongest because he hasn't fought anyone strong, then keep that same energy towards Dragon, please. Because you know who was the last and only person he's fought in the entire show? Smoker. And this wasn't even post time skip who had hockey. This was Smoker pre-Alabasta. Like, I'm convinced that the storm that came down when Dragon appeared was just entirely coincidence, and Dragon is just a no fruit, no hockey having homeless fuck. And you know what's crazy? The Dragon fans aren't even the worst part. I think the cherry on top of all of this is what happened in the recent chapter. And this is honestly the whole reason why I'm even making this video in the first place. Because Dragon, what are you doing? It's revealed Kuma's wife was literally assaulted and impregnated by a celestial dragon, which just so happens to be Bonnie, aka Kuma's supposed child. And as Kuma is literally going through it and is about to show why he was called the Mad Tyrant, Dragon is spectating one of his right hands going through the most traumatic experience of his life, twiddling his f***ing thumbs with Ivankov. So not only do you have any feats, but you won't even spin back for your own crew? Notice how the goats in One Piece always spin back for their crew. Kaido for Jack, Whitebeard for Ace, Luffy for Nami, Usopp, Robin, and Sanji. But Dragon? No, he's just gonna be with Ivankov and do 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare a fucking thumb war. Dragon, out of any character I've spoken about, is easily the most overhyped, and until he apparently dunks on Akainu, oh my god, Akainu theory, like everybody is saying, this man Dragon is a bigger fraud than f***ing Green Bull.